I would like to thank to God because He's protect me and my family during this pandemic time. And I would like also to thank to the teacher, especially teacher Miguel, for his passion and dedication on teaching us. So my work as title the origin of the universe, the theories of the creationism theory and the theory of the evolution. So my introduction began with these two questions. Where did I come and where I'm going? So those are the most important questions of humanity. Everyone wants to know how the universe and everything that exists were started. The truth is that answering this question is a great challenge. There are few theories that can solve this great enigma, but they are only split opinions. So the two main theories that can explain these mysteries is the theory of creation and the theory of the evolution. Let's jump to the next point. So I'm going to talk about the theory of the creation. The theory of creation suggests that a supernatural agent, God, creates the universe and all living things in just 6 days. Creationists also believe that the earth is only 6,000 years old, not billions of years old, as the evolutionary theory points out. So this theory is based on the Bible, on the book of Genesis. So about the Genesis narrative creation, the Genesis narrative creation is a creation myth of both theories, that of both religions, that is Judaism and Christianity. So the narrative theories, so the Jewish narrative theory is made up of two stories. That the firstly God created the heavens and the earth on only 6 days, and they rest on. After He blesses and sanctified the seventh day, that is the biblical Sabbath. In the second story, God created the man, Adam, from dust and placed him in the Garden of Eden and gave him dominion over all animals. Eve, the first woman, was made from Adam as his companion. So what are the strengths and the weakness points of the theory of creation? Creationism cannot be called as a theory. In any case, creationism version can be called as a doctrine, because a theory is a rational speculation of somewhat abstract subject that rises in the mind of an expositor. In other words, a theory is a human product. In other hands, a doctrine is a revelation of a supernatural being with the purpose of establishing cognitive bonds of God with the humankind. So, as a doctrine, the creationism has not errors, but we can agree that there are different forms of interpretation of the God's revelation. So let's jump to the next point, that is the theory of evolution. The theory of evolution suggests that the world began with that the universe was created with an explosion, as known as the Big Bang. And therefore, there are other theories that also is allowed to this theory of the Big Bang. But now I will talk only of the theory of the Big Bang. The theory of the Big Bang is based on a mathematical models on how and when the universe was created. So what are the strong and weakness aspects of evolution theory. So the evolution theory is it can be called as a theory, but as a rational speculation, because it can create it, because it isn't contributing to the establishing of natural laws. So in my conclusion, I can conclude that to know where we come from and where we are going to is very important. But it's also to know that that it's not necessary to be to be a Christian to believe in God, and isn't also necessary to be a scientist to believe in the theory of evolution. That means that even a scientist can believe on the creation theory. That depends on the environment that the person has born, on the country that he has raised in his culture. With this, I finish my final work presentation. Thank you.
So, your name is Mr. Bernardo Comango, right? Okay, Mr. Comango, you're talking about the theory of the origin of the universe. You're talking about it in two theories, right? Creationism and evolutionism. Very problematic, also for scientists and for Christians as well, because there are a lot of contradiction, and this is something that people have been asking themselves all the time. What is the origin of the universe? What is the archedathesis in Greek, right? So my first question, I'd like you to tell me what is creationism and what is evolutionism?
Yeah, so creationism is a theory, but it cannot be called that theory, but it's a doctrine that God created everything that exists, the universe and all things that lives. And evolutionism is a theory that explains that the world was created, the world emerged about explosion that is known as Big Bang. So this evolution theory, there are a lot of theories that are allowed also in the Big Bang theory, and therefore.
Okay, that's it. Many philosophers, they come with the hypothesis, saying that where is the creator of the world? For example, Pythagoras said that the creator is the number. If we combine numbers in pairs, we can make image, we can make size, we can make weight, everything is quickly numbers. It says that. But some others, like Thales, for example, it says like air, for example, is the creator, and the creator is in the universe, is in the nature, but it's not quite the same as we are, because if it was like us, he would exist, and existing, he would be going through the year, like eating, getting old, and then dying. So, according to you were talking about creationism and evolutionism. Did you search on the place where the creator is?
The creator is.
Yes.
So about the place that the creator is, Bible says that in the first day God created the heavens and the earth. So that means that there are three kinds of events. We got the events that are the atmosphere. We got the events that are the cosmos and the stars, and we got the event that I suppose that where God is.
Okay, that's great. So according to Yuval Harari, he's a scientist from Israel, he's also a historian. He says that human, they can have two visions of the world, objective and subjective. Objective is the world that we see, the walls, the trees, the people, things we can touch. And subjective is the world we create on our minds, more exactly the myths. And he talks about God in this perspective. He says God is creation of human. God is creation of human in order to make people cooperate, to make people understanding one another. Because he compares animal with human, like chimpanzees, for example, they can talk, they communicate. We can have a group of 10 chimpanzees working together, they have an alpha, they have a leader, they work together, but if we have like 150 chimpanzees, they can't work together, they can't cooperate. So he was comparing this. He said if you put human together, they can cooperate even not knowing one another. For example, I don't know you, you don't know me, but we can cooperate to make something happen. He said this is only possible with creation of myth, of great stories to make people work together. For example, a Catholic from Angola and a Catholic from Italy. If they meet, they can cooperate because they believe in the same thing. Do you think Yuval Noah Harari is right in this theory, or you think he's not right?
That's right. For me, I guess that God wasn't a creation of the man, because God was God that created the man. So there are a lot of stories about a supernatural being that is behind all kinds of forms that exist. So if God was a creation of man, to unify the person, so that means that all the things that we believe is a lie. So it can't be, because there are some things that make sure that God exists. Because, for example, I'm here and I'm alive. Now I'm 15 years old. So let's suppose that there are a lot of children that were born with me, but they didn't come until my age. So that is God, or that is just numbers? A question of number, because I'm here, I'm alive. So that is because of God, because of God. So I can suppose that God exists. Yes. So if God exists, that means that I'm here and I'm alive.
Okay. This is a Christianism vision you're talking about.
Christianism vision.
If you talk about evolutionism, for example, why you were here, some scientists would say that you came from, for example, some molecules in the water that originated life. Yeah.
Yeah. So that can be right in the evolutionary
perspective.
Yeah, in the evolutionary perspective.
Okay. Now talking about evolutionism, because we're talking about God, that's Christianism as well. Evolutionism, how did it happen, the theory of Big Bang that you were explaining about the explosion? How did it occur? Is there an explanation of this?
An explanation. So, second what I researched, the Big Bang theory began with a singularity, a primordial atom that just exploded, and then that created the universe. So until now, there passed billions of years of evolution, and then we just come to hear about the evolution theory.
Okay, the last question, take into account these two theories that you're talking about, Christianism and evolutionism. So can you balance them? For you, what is the most
convincing?
What must be right, Christianism or evolutionism?
So,
in your opinion, not a fact.
Yeah, in my opinion. In the fact, I believe in the creation theory, because I'm Christian and I'm born in a Christian family. Yes, and I can't just left behind the evolution theory, because it's based on science also. So, in the matter of fact, I'm with the creation theory, not with the evolution theory, because the evolution theory isn't a theory, but a rational synthesis of how the universe was created.
Okay, that's it. Thank you for the floor. Thank you so much for your answers.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so
No.
The other members,
a problematic issue. Actually, as my friend said, that's a very, very big problematic issue in the world. And you know, despite it, just would like to say that I appreciated the way you were answering the questions. Yeah, we could feel that you were actually understanding what you were speaking, and you measured very well, you know, your topic. So I just want you to advise the people here. For instance, you are transmitting a knowledge, okay? And by transmitting, we are acquiring this kind of knowledge. So, for instance, let's suppose I'm an atheist. We know that atheists are people that do not believe in God, and the message of God we find in the Bible. So are people who do not believe in the Bible. And once you say that you are Christian, so which should be your advice for people who do not believe in God of the Bible?
So I guess that for people that don't believe in God, there must be a reason to make them don't believe in God. Maybe it's for his country of origin, or his family that don't believe in God, and that make out that the person don't believe on God. But for me, the advice is just to search a person that knows well the Holy Scriptures, because we can find a lot of people speak about the Bible, but the real question is the true understanding of the Scripture and what they really want to transmit to us. So I guess that we must to find a person that know well the Scriptures to teach us the right way to finally meet God.
Okay, thank you very much.
Teacher, you have a question?
Okay, Mr. Bernard. Bernard, very great. So you have performed well. Okay. During your presentation, you said we have to know. It is important we know where we come from and where we are going. Okay. So I would like you to tell us. So where do human being come from, and where human being is going?
For there is a lot of theories that explain about our existence, or about where we come from and where we are going. So that depends on the person to choose what kind of theory that the person wants to follow.
Okay,
Yeah.
from your own perspective.
From my own perspective,
Yes.
I guess that the most convincing theory is the creationist theory, because it's the only that gives a sensible version of the reality in which we live.
So I really didn't understand you, right? So where do human being come from? You believe that creation, right? Okay, they come from the creation of who? Of God. This is right. And where are we going, or where the human is going through the creation of God? God created human. This is where human being come from. So, and where the human is going exactly?
About that, I can't answer certainly, because my work is only about the origin and not where the human when we are going to be. So I can say that there are a lot of possibilities, but I guess that the most sure that I can say that so we are in the final times as the Bible says. So I guess that we are going just to the judgment, as the Bible says. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Bernard, yes? I would like to divide in three parts, okay? The first one is I just hear from you that you believe in creationist theory, okay? Who created for example, is it possible the world created by itself, or just God has to create the world, okay? And after, if God created the world, who created God? Yes.
Yeah. So that is a hard question, but the first question, I say that God created the universe, and because that is quite impossible. The universe get created by Himself in His own. Yeah, and it will take a lot of billions of years until we come now where we are. So, answering the second question, I say that Bible says that the God just exists in the beginning of the time, and God is eternal. So that means that He is the beginning and He is the end. He is Alpha and Omega. That means that anyone created God. God just existed in the beginning of time. So that is impossible to create someone that just exists. Yeah.
Okay. For example, for those who believe in God, this kind of theory is very important and they believe in it. Okay.
Yes.
But I'm focused on those one who doesn't believe in God. Okay. They say that God was not the creator of the world, because we as Christians we say that God created the world, but there is no creator of God. Okay. Even those kind of guys that don't believe in God, they say that the world has the same beginning of God. No one created the world. The world was created by the time. Why do the people defend this kind of theory? What is the difference between?
I guess that for me is that God creates the world, and I guess that he let's suppose that I guess that he answering this question for me about that, because for me God created the universe, and that's depend of the person to choose in which theory that he can believe. So I'm not just trying to convince you to choose Christianism, no, to choose evolution theory, no. I'm just saying that that's depend only on you, only to believe in what you want to believe.
Any question?
No, there is no.
Okay, now I think time to the audience with one question.
That they're all exist more regional, there is several also. Yeah, and my question is, they believe each one for himself and God for yourself.
Is everyone for it? Can you repeat the question?
So do you believe that each one for himself
And God for all.
for us all?
I guess that yes, but God says that you must love your brother, your next,
So I'm referring
as you love yourself.
In
my opinion.
Yeah, so.
I guess that that doesn't mean that I can't help my next. No, I can't help my next. That depends only on me. If I choose to help him, I will help him in the way I can help him. But God is for all of us. Yeah, even the witch, the wizard, God is for all of us.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bernard, for the attention. We appreciate it a lot, and you may just
Thank you.
Now we will listen to Eldad Teixeira, who will talk about bullying.